Welcome to my first college football 26 dynasty with the TCU Horned Frogs. And yes, I decided to use TCU this season, and I've decided to make Andy Dalton the head coach. Now, unfortunately, I could not find any red head coaches in the coaching heads, so just please pretend that this man looks like Andy Dalton and we will move on. You may be wondering why I've decided to use a team that was just in the national championship a couple seasons ago. Well, it's because this is a drastically different team, as you can see with the 5-7 record that came in the next season, and then last year they finished 9-4. But there are also quite a few nice pieces on this team, so let's go ahead and go over this roster. At quarterback, we have a redshirt junior in Josh Hoover, who comes in as an 89 overall, and I am really hoping we can hold him here after the first season, because if he leaves, we don't have much behind him, because Ken Seals, our backup quarterback, is a senior. And then we have a redshirt freshman in Adam Schobel, who was only a 71 overall. Obviously, we have the stuff like the transfer portal to go through and the recruiting page, but as of right now, we don't have a great plan after Hoover. At running back, we also have a couple solid options in Barnes, who was an 82 overall, and then Jeremy Payne, who will most likely be my main back at an 82 overall with 94 speed and 96 acceleration. We have one really highly rated receiver in Eric McAllister, an 88 overall. Behind him, we have Jordan Dwyer, who was an 82, and then Joseph Manjack, who is an 81. But it's not like we have zero receivers for whenever a bunch of these guys leave, because we have Ed Small, who is a 78 overall. I've decided to redshirt him. We also have Jakyle Baker, who is a 75. If I mispronounce anyone's name, I apologize. And then we have Dozie. Yeah, I'm not going to try to say your last name. A 75 overall with 91 speed. That's only a redshirt freshman. Then at tight end, we have an 84 overall, but behind him, we have two redshirt seniors, so we'll definitely need to address tight end in this season. Now, for what is probably the weakest point on TCU right now, at least according to the ratings on this game, is the offensive line. Your best left tackle is a 74 overall, left guard's a 76, center is going to be an 82, right guard is an 80, and right tackle is a 71, and pretty much all of those guys are upperclassmen. So this guy's a junior, your starting left guard's a redshirt senior, your center is a senior, your right guard's a redshirt senior, and your right tackle is a junior. But putting the offensive line behind us, we jump over to the defensive line. We have a 79 overall at the left edge position, along with two freshmen down here that I have redshirted for this year. At the right edge position, we have an 84 overall. Defensive tackle is going to be an 80 and a 79. Then at outside linebacker, we have a 75 in Nico Lashley and a 74 in Michael Teason. Over at the other outside linebacker spot, we have an 85 in, I'm not going to try to say your name, but he does seem to be our best linebacker. And then your middle linebacker is going to be an 83 overall redshirt senior. As we jump to the secondary, there is definitely a little bit of concern because, yeah, these ratings aren't bad, but notice the year that they're all in. 5 of the 6 guys we have at corner are all seniors, so this secondary room will look very different going into next season. Obviously, we will have this season to win with these guys, though. Moving on to free safety, we have the highest rated player on the team in Bud Clark at a 92 overall, backed up by a 79 in redshirt sophomore Kylan Jackson, and then Micah Strickland, a freshman that I have redshirted this season. Then at strong safety, we have Jamel Johnson at a 78, backed up by another junior, this one in Ryan Yates, who's also a 78. Now, Yates is a little bit faster, but his zone coverage is a little bit worse, so we're probably just going to roll with Johnson. For our kicker, we have Kyle Lemmerman, who is a 72 overall with 93 kick power, 77 kick accuracy. And then Nate McCashlin, you're probably getting cut after this season, I'm not going to lie to you. You're a redshirt sophomore, you really have no chance to pass him. And then at punter, we have Ethan Craw, who is an 81 overall with 93 kick power and 92 kick accuracy. The slider set I've decided to start this franchise with is Playmaker's All-American sliders. I did try to use Matt Tinn's Heisman sliders, I just really didn't like the way they felt. I really like the way these ones feel right now. We'll see how well the game updates and see how long that sticks. Notice there is 85 fatigue, and the reason that's there is because Playmaker likes to do it to where fatigue kind of handles the substitutions instead of auto subs or wear and tear. But like I said, it will be an All-American difficulty instead of Heisman. I know some people probably aren't going to like that, but I'm using 12-minute quarters with 18 seconds on the play clock. We are keeping wear and tear on, just all of the default stuff, because I think that's what Playmaker kind of have his set right now. And then the transfer portal, we are using C4 settings. He has a good video on it if you want to go watch that one. But just as of right now, these seem to be the most realistic settings. Let's take a look at our schedule for Season 1. We have already gone past the Week 0 bye week. So our first game is at North Carolina, who are now led by Bill Belichick. Obviously will not be really led by Bill Belichick in this game as he's not in the game. Then we have another bye week, and then an FCS opponent. Then we have a rivalry game against SMU. Now, I believe in real life, this rivalry game is ending. I'm not going to let it end in this dynasty. We will keep the game against SMU every single season. Then we open up Big 12 play at Arizona State. Then we take on Colorado at home, at Kansas State, Baylor at home, at West Virginia, and then a bye week. Following that, we have Iowa State at home, at BYU, at Houston, and then a home game against Cincinnati to wrap up the regular season. I will say I am not perfect at recruiting in this game just yet, so I'm probably not going to be very good at it here at the very start of the series. I am hoping to get better as the series goes on. It's definitely a bit different than recruiting was last season, but here you can kind of see the recruiting board I have set up right now. And the final thing I would like to add before we jump into our very first game of this series is that since I am Andy Dalton, who was a quarterback at TCU, I don't really think he would be calling the defensive plays here. So we will only be controlling the offense. The defense will mostly be super sim, but if it comes down to the last couple minutes of a half or the game, then we will obviously jump in and slow super sim so we can at least watch it. But it is now time to jump into Andy Dalton's first ever game as the head coach at TCU and take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. And it would appear that we get the ball first today. So we start at the 37-yard line. It'll be a handoff to Payne, who goes to the outside. And I want to spin the other way. This is a terrible start. A loss of 6 to begin the season. All right, let's try to make up for that one. On the next play, we're going to give it back to Payne and run into our own blocker. But we do get upfield this time and end up with a positive gain to set up a 3rd and 7 at about the 40-yard line. All right, Hoover, what you got for us? A shotgun set. He'll take the snap. And we're going to throw this one over the middle. That'll be caught by Manjack, but he will not get the first down. The tight end, I think, was open downfield, had actually thrown that one in time. So our very first drive of the season will end in a punt from Craw as it will get sent deep. They're going to field this at about the 10-yard line. You're going to call the fair catch? All right, he apparently did. But now let's see how well our defense does as we jump in. And apparently they force a 3-and-out. We're getting the ball right back. Let's just try to build some confidence on this drive for us. 1st and 10 from the 44. We're going to drop back with a screen to the outside. That'll be caught by Barnes, who will end up with a gain of 3 to bring up a 2nd and 7. Looks like Barnes is still checked into the game here on 2nd down. From a shotgun set, we'll take the snap, and it will be an RPO, but we'll just give it to Barnes, who will have the first down. No one else in the backfield with Hoover. Let's see where we go with this one. We're going to throw this one underneath to a wide open Dwyer for the first down, brought down near the 25. On the next play, we're going to drop back to the pass and throw this one underneath, but nearly get intercepted. He threw that one a little bit too high. I actually thought I audible to a run play on that one. I don't know if it didn't work because of Stadium Pulse or if I just didn't pay attention. But now 2nd and 10, we'll drop back to the pass and once again throw it underneath because Payne's wide open and he'll spin out of that tackle and get body slammed down near the 10. From the 11-yard line, we'll take the snap and look to pass. Not seeing anyone come open, we're going to end up taking a sack this time. How about a 2nd and 19? Hoover at a shotgun, we'll drop back. We're going to throw this one to the end zone and he misses his man. A 3rd and 19 coming up out of a 5-wide set. We're going to lob this one to the corner of the end zone, and for some reason, the receiver just doesn't respond to it. We'll kick a field goal. So here we go. Let's see if I actually make this one. I think we've lined it up. Kick is away, and it will be just inside the upright. We get our first points of the season. However, it looks like North Carolina also gets theirs because we are now tied up at 3 here in the first quarter. We're going to come out with a run play to the outside. And it looks like Payne gets the edge up the sideline across the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5, and a touchdown for Payne as we take a 10-3 lead. Unfortunately, though, we don't get to keep that momentum as the defense would eventually allow a touchdown to North Carolina, so we're now tied up at 10. We'll give this one to Payne up the middle for a 6-yard carry. Now on a 2nd and 4, we're going to take the snap. It'll be a screen to the outside, and it never let me throw it. The icon disappeared, and now we take the sack. 3rd and 14, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. We're going to try another screen here as this crowd is getting really loud in my headset. A quick throw to the outside. We have Payne, and we'll follow our blocks, but we can't make that man miss. 4th and 3, and we'll punt it away. Well, it's still going to be 10-10 next time we come out, but now we get to start from our own 7-yard line. We're going to drop back and look to pass. We're going to try to fire this one deep over the middle, and that one gets knocked away. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Hoover at a shotgun. We'll drop back to pass again. And we're going to roll to the outside. Please get rid of this one. We'll find the back end. That'll go down for no gain on the play. Another shotgun set just to try to keep the drive alive. We're going to fire this one over the middle as well. That'll be incomplete, in and out of the hands of McAllister. Following that punt, the defense could not keep him out of the end zone. So now we're down by 7. We'll come out with a handoff to Payne, who goes up the middle and starts this drive with a 7-yard carry. Maybe we just need to count on our running back a little bit more. Because I'm not going to lie, so far it feels like it's way more consistent. 2nd and 3. We'll go back to him up the middle, and we won't have the first down. 3rd and 2. And now it looks like Barnes is checked back into the game here at running back. We'll take the snap, and we give it to Barnes, who will have the first down to the outside and get brought down near the 40. Looks like Jeremy Payne is now checked back into the game here at running back. We'll hand it to him to go to the outside. And this is the play we scored on earlier, and he has another big run across the 35-yard line. All right, we cannot run the ball all day, so Hoover will drop back to pass. And we're going to let this one go deep over the middle, and he overthrows the receiver. Now a 2nd and 10 out of shotgun. He'll drop back, and we're going to throw this one to the outside, caught by Payne, who will get met and brought down to set up a 3rd and 7. All alone in the backfield as Hoover will take the next snap. And we're going to let this one go deep downfield to McAllister, and it will be incomplete, barely overthrew it, and we'll come out for the field goal try to make it 17-13. So we're going to aim pretty far in because I feel like last time it almost missed. So now we're going to take the snap, kick us away, and that one is nearly right down the middle. It is now time to run a 2-minute offense for us. It's still 17-13, a minute 52 to go. A quick screen to the outside, and there was no receiver there. All right, Hoover, let's try to settle down now. 2nd and 10. Take the snap, and a quick throw underneath. We'll find James for a gain of about 8 yards. And I lied to you guys. That was a gain of 9 yards. Now a 3rd and 1. We'll take the snap. We'll give it to Payne, and he will fight for the marker, but not quite get there. But we're going to be aggressive in this series. We're going to go for it here on 4th and inches because I believe in our offensive line, and Payne will just get the first down. We'll line back up in shotgun for the next play. The clock continues to run. A quick throw over the middle will be caught by McAllister for the first down. Just need to get our quarterback in a little bit of a rhythm. The clock running down, under a minute to go here in the first half. He'll drop back. Screw the rhythm. We're going deep downfield. He's got a man, and that is caught by Jeremy Payne. Touchdown TCU will take the lead. But then our defense has once again let us down because they allowed a touchdown. We're now down by 4 yet again. As we know here in the second half, handoff to Payne up the middle, who is just having a ridiculous day so far. I think Jeremy Payne may be where we need to run the offense through. 1st and 10, we'll drop back to pass. We're going to go to Manjack over the middle. Never mind, he throws it way behind him, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. 2nd and 10, Hoover back in shotgun. We'll take the snap and look to pass. And we're going to try to throw this one downfield. That'll be caught by Dwyer for the first down. Breaking tackles brought down across the 40. We're going to hand this one to Barnes and hope for the best as he goes up the middle, and that'll be nothing. Now a 2nd and 10. Hoover will drop back and look to pass. We're going to go to the tight end on the outside, who will make the catch, break that tackle inside the 5, and get into the end zone. Touchdown TCU. Once again, we will take the lead. And this time as we get the ball, we still have the lead. 27-24. It'll be a handoff, and that's going nowhere. Out of a shotgun set on the next play, we'll drop back. We're going to try to go to Manjack over the middle, who will make the catch. And now Joseph Manjack deep into North Carolina territory. He will get caught at about the 15-yard line. But it looks like our quarterback has finally found his rhythm today, and now we're going to give it to our running back on the next play, and Barnes will get nothing. Another shotgun set for our offense, and it'll be a draw play. Hand off to Barnes to go up the middle, and Barnes will get close to the marker. He has the first down to set up a 1st and goal from about the 4. And on this play, it looks like running back Trent Battle is checked into the game. He will get his first carry of the season and get nothing. We'll come back out in what looks like a goal line set. No receivers on the field for 2nd and goal. We'll give this one to the outside, and Barnes is met and brought down in the backfield. That'll bring up a 3rd and goal from about the 8-yard line. This would obviously be a monstrous stop for the Tar Heels defense. 3rd and goal. Hoover will take the snap. Not seeing anyone come open, and I couldn't scramble out of there. We'll take the sack, and we'll settle for a field goal try here near the end of the 3rd quarter. This field goal should not be that big of a problem, but I'm not going to guarantee that. Kick is away, and it is good. 10:37 to go in the game. We get the ball back, still have our 6-point lead. We're going to come out with a screen to the outside. That's caught by Barnes, who gets up the sideline for a gain of about 7 yards. And I have now officially turned on shoe clock because we are just going to try to run the clock down in this game. But as Barnes goes up the middle, runs over a man and gets the first down. Once again, it looks like Trent Battle is checked into the game. We'll take the snap. We give it to Battle, who goes to the outside, and we'll get met and brought down for a gain of 5 this time. That'll bring up a 2nd and 5. I am not really looking to throw the ball at all on this drive. But you know what? We'll attempt at least one of them. 2nd and 5 now. All alone in the backfield. He'll drop back. A quick throw underneath will work, and we'll find Barnes for the first down, and he's brought down to the 34. Now it's going to be a pistol set for TCU. We'll come out and hand this one to Battle, as Battle will follow his blocks and get met and brought down for a 7-yard run this time to bring up a 2nd and 3. With a 5-wide set, if no one's open, I will gladly just take the sack rather than try to force a turnover. We'll fire this to the outside. That's caught by Dwyer for the first down. And this is going to count as a pass play, but in my head, these are more just run plays because it's going to be a jet toss to the outside as Manjack loses 2 on the play. Now in a 2nd and 12, back in shotgun, we'll take the snap and give it to our back to the outside. Palmer is met and brought down at the 25-yard line. And I might be crazy for just running this ball, but that's what I'm going to do here as we give it to Barnes, who goes up the middle, and we'll actually get a decent gain, brought down right in the middle of the hash marks, which is right where I wanted him to go down, because with about 5 minutes to go, we're going to kick a field goal and take a 9-point lead. The defense would allow another touchdown, so we have a 2-point lead with 2:58 to go, and North Carolina does have all 3 timeouts. We're going to hand this one to Battle, who goes up the middle and gets the first down. Back in his shotgun set again, they have now burned their first timeout. 2:54 to go. Hand off to Barnes up the middle, and this one will be a gain of a few yards. Now we line up for a 2nd and 4. We'll come out of shotgun, and we'll give it to Barnes again, but he's met in the backfield and brought down. This is one of those plays where we really need the first down. 2:45 to go. Hoover will take the snap. We're going to throw it underneath. There is a flag as we find Dwyer for the first down. But what is the flag going to be? Oh my God, it's going to be holding on TCU, I'm pretty sure. That's exactly what it is. A horribly timed penalty is going to take away that first down. Now on 3rd and 19. We need to go deep downfield to convert this. We're going to let it rip. It's into double coverage, and it will fall incomplete. It will come down to the defense. All right, all we can do is watch here. They start at the 19-yard line. It'll be a quick throw to the outside. He's going to get met and brought down. That'll set up a 2nd and 5. Remember, they have no timeouts remaining, but they do have the 2-minute warning, or 2-minute timeout, I think is what they call it in college football, instead of the 2-minute warning for some reason. But now in a 2nd and 5. Back in a shotgun set again. Someone on defense, please make a play. He's going to send a man in motion. Lopez will drop back, roll to the outside, and he may try to take off. No, he's going to let it go deep downfield. Does he have a man? Yes, he does, and he makes the catch. They're in field goal range. What an insane play to make at that time. 1.5 minutes to go. We do have all 3 timeouts. They're going to drop back and look to pass. Go over the middle. That'll be caught, and he's brought down about the 10-yard line. But they don't seem to be chewing away at the clock at all. It looks like they just want to score and move on. He'll run the play fake. Lopez will now step up. He's going to try to take off, and he's going to slide down about the 8-yard line. The clock will continue to run down. About 40 seconds to go in the game now. 2nd and goal. He takes the snap in, looks to pass again. Rolling to the outside, throws on the run to the end zone, and finds his man. Touchdown, North Carolina. Well, I accidentally stayed in slow sim a little bit too long, so the first play here we're just going to get to watch, and then we'll jump in. We're running a run play for some reason, but it works out. We get the first down and burn a timeout, but now we'll get to jump in. That was a wild first play call by the computer there, but I guess it works out. Hoover will now drop back to pass. We're going to fire this to McAllister over the middle, who will make that catch, make that man miss, spin out that defender, and get brought down to the 50. We'll burn our 2nd timeout. We are going to need someone to make a play here on offense. 19 seconds to go. We'll drop back, and we're going to fire this over the middle to our tight end, who will make the catch and go down. Can we please run the no-huddle offense? Let's hurry up to the line. Stop celebrating. The clock is getting set here. So now we'll come up to the line. The clock has not started to run just yet, and it just did. Down to 10 seconds to go in the game. We're going to take the snap and look to pass. And we're going to fire this over the middle. That one will be tipped in the air and nearly intercepted. 5 seconds remaining, and we'll get probably one final play. And it looks like Hoover got injured on that play, so Ken Seals comes in for the final play of the game as he will drop back and look to pass. We're going to fire this towards the outside. Hopefully it gets there, and no, was underthrown. Didn't really have much of a chance. And we will fall to 0-1 on the season. An absolute heartbreaker here. Well, Josh Hoover finishes 18 of 30 for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. On the ground, though, Jeremy Payne, 12 for 142 and a score. Looks like Barnes got 10 carries for 47 yards. Payne left the game. I don't know if it was an injury or the fatigue setting or whatever. We may need to lower that just a bit because I felt like he was leaving the game quite a bit. And then also our quarterback got hurt, which might just be the wear and tear settings. And then for receiving, Jeremy Payne was our best one, 4 for 63, though I will say McAllister made a couple nice grabs. And one more thing before we get into the next game, I do want to go over what Gio Lopez just did to our defense. As a redshirt freshman, he just went 27 of 40 for 356 yards and 5 touchdowns, so defense may be a bigger concern than I thought. But hopefully it won't be a problem today as we get to take on the FCS Midwest Rebels, which I believe are the lowest rated FCS school in the game. We really need to rebound following that last game. Our offense looked good at times. In fact, I would say the offense wasn't really the main problem besides a couple guys getting injured. The defense allowing that much cannot be a thing when we get into Big 12 play. And we now jump into our very first drive, which we get the ball first anyway, hand off to Payne for a gain of a couple yards. I really want to open up the playbook and see what we can do in this game, because if our offense can't show out today, we're not going to be able to show out all season. Let's go deep downfield to McAllister. That's into coverage and probably should have been picked off. Maybe I can't show off that much, because I definitely called that hot route and then just sat there and decided I was throwing that ball no matter if he was open or not. But now we have an open man deep downfield on a go route, and that will be a touchdown for Dwyer, a quick 7-0 lead. Well, how would our defense respond? By allowing a field goal. So now it's 7-3 as we come out for the next drive. It'll be a screen pass to the outside, caught by Payne. And Payne gets to the outside, gets a couple nice blocks, and we'll get met around the 45. 100% Payne is going to be like our main weapon on offense, I feel like, this year. But we also have this man right here, and McAllister, as he is gone, and we should go up 14-3. On our very next drive, it's still the same score, and we face a 3rd and 4 after a couple run plays to start this drive. We're going to go over the middle to find Pimpton, our tight end, who will break that tackle and get down to about the 15. Our offense really should have no problem thriving in today's game. We'll run the play action, roll to the outside, not see anyone come open. Hoover just take off and slide down. Now on a 2nd and 5, back in his shotgun set again. We'll take the snap and sit here underneath. We're going to fire this underneath, caught by Dwyer for the first down, but there is a flag, and it's going to be holding. That will move this ball all the way back to the 21-yard line as we face a 2nd and 15. And now we'll give it to Payne to go to the outside, trying to use the speed to the edge, spin out that man, break that tackle, and get forced out to bring up a 3rd and 9. And now we'll probably have to throw the ball here, which is exactly what we're going to do. Hoover in shotgun. Barnes is in the backfield. Hoover will take the snap, and we're going to stay in the pocket. We're just going to throw this one underneath. That's caught by James for the first down, and it sets up a 1st and goal. Back in his shotgun set again. We'll take the snap and give this one to Payne, who cuts back in and gets into the end zone. Touchdown TCU. Into the second quarter we go. It is 21-10 as the defense has now allowed a touchdown to this FCS school. And we're going to start this drive with a loss of 1. Hoover back in shotgun again. We'll take the snap and we'll look to pass. We're going to fire this to the outside. That one will be caught by McAllister and sets up a 3rd and 3. On 3rd down, we're going to try the screen to keep the drive moving. I think it's going to work out well. We have blockers in front of us and the first down. And Payne cuts to the outside, brought down about the 48-yard line. Looks like Barnes will check in at running back for the very next play as we will be giving it to the running back as he goes up the middle for a yard. All right, how about a 2nd and 9 now? Hoover will take the snap. And I think McAllister's going to come wide open. We're just going to do that easily, and he'll walk into the end zone. But, oh my God, is that another holding call? It is. So bring back the long touchdown, and now we face a 2nd and 19. Out of a shotgun set, we'll drop back and look to pass again. We're going to try to go to McAllister. I don't know what I was trying to fit into there, but it was definitely not good. And McAllister also was not even the receiver on the play. So that play just didn't go well at all. 3rd and 19. We are going to go ahead and just send McAllister on a go route here and hope for the best because I don't think much else is going to work on this play. We're just going to let it rip. He's in one-on-one coverage, and he should come away with it. He gets the touchdown anyway. We get the ball back. It's still 28-10 from the 46-yard line. We will hand this one to Payne to go up the middle. I tried to follow my blocks. It didn't work, and we get a gain of 3 on the play. Now in a 2nd and 7. Back in a pistol set, we'll take the snap and look to go downfield. We're going to let this one go, and there's going to be another holding call on us, I believe. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. That slider may need to be taken down just a bit because that's 3 in one game right now, or 1 half. That does happen occasionally in real life, but it's still a little bit insane right now. Brings up a 2nd and 17. Payne is still the running back. We're going to go to him this time. And the blocking opens up over the middle, and we get a 3rd and 9 out of that. So a 3rd and a little bit more manageable. We're going to come out and try to throw for the first down. Now, no one hold the guy they're supposed to block this time. Out of a shotgun set, we're going to fire this over the middle to a wide open James for the first down, and he'll get met and brought down near the 30. Looks like Jeremy Payne is still lined up in the backfield for the next play, and that's where we're going with it, to the outside, as Payne will get met and brought down at the 21 to bring up a 2nd and 1. Only needing a yard for the first down. We will come out, and it's going to be a read option that I almost did wrong, but Barnes gets the first down anyway. First and 10 out of a 5-wide set. Hoover will drop back to pass. Fire this over the middle. That's caught by Payne, who will walk into the end zone. Touchdown TCU. With now 3:09 to go here in the first half, we will start at our own 8-yard line. It'll be a handoff to Payne to the outside, and that is going nowhere. They actually do give us a gain of a yard, which I honestly didn't even think we got that. 2nd and 9. Hoover back in shotgun. We'll drop back and look to pass again. We're going to fire this one to McAllister over the middle for the first down, and he's brought down to 22. Over 300 passing yards in the first half is a pretty solid day for our quarterback. Hoover will drop back to pass again, and we're going to step up, trying to find somebody open. Please go downfield. We'll let this one go to Manjack, who's wide open, hurdles that man across the 40, and will be met and brought down to the 35-yard line. Out of a shotgun set on the next play, we'll drop back. One-on-one coverage. Why not take the shot downfield? And that one's going to fall incomplete. All right, getting a little too cocky in our receivers there. 2nd and 10. Hoover out of a 5-wide set will drop back to pass. Not seeing anyone come open, get sacked, fumble the ball, and luckily we recover that to avoid our first turnover on the season, I believe. But that was not a great play. 3rd and 23 now. We're going to come out and give this one to Payne on 3rd down to try to get to the edge. And Payne has a lot of room. He's going to have the first down across the 20, make those men miss, and get brought down to the 14. And I kind of figured it would happen, but it looks like Barnes is checked in the game for the next play. We will give it to Barnes up the middle, and he will fight his way down to about the 3-yard line to bring up a 1st and goal. We're just going to keep running the ball like this. Payne is checked back into the game. Hoover back in shotgun. But we'll just give it to our back to go up the middle, and does not find the end zone. Letting the clock continue to run down. We're going to send Manjack in motion. Take the snap. We're going to fake it to him, and now we're going to actually throw it to him on the outside, and he will get into the end zone once again. Touchdown TCU. We're going to go into the second half, and you will notice that the starters have mostly all been pulled, and I put in our redshirt freshman Adam Schobel. He can play in up to 4 games this season, and I want to see exactly what he can do. So on the first play, we're going to see if he can actually throw the ball downfield, and he misses his very first throw. All right, let's try that again. Schobel looking to pass. We'll throw this one underneath, and overthrows even that short of a route. All right, not a great debut for Adam Schobel in our eyes here. So on 3rd and 10, Schobel will drop back from shotgun and throw this one underneath, and almost overthrows that, but it will be a first down. Here we go on another pass play. I was trying to go deep downfield, but we're not going to find it. That one was an actually accurate throw, caught by our tight end Curtis for the first down, brought down to 21. It would appear that Barnes is the running back in here for the second half, and we're going to give it to him for no gain. Now in a 2nd and 10, Schobel will take the snap again. We're going to lob this one to the end zone, and a really good throw, honestly. Just could not come down with it through the contact. That's going to set up a 3rd and 10. And if we don't get this, we will at least be able to kick a field goal. We're just going to hand it off, and now it looks like Barnes is going to get met and brought down pretty much immediately. So we will be kicking this field goal, and this will be the final play of the game that we actually play. I will just simulate all the way to the end because this game is obviously over. And your final score of this one is 52-20. So the offense would find the end zone one more time. We'll take a look at the stats here in just a second. Our starting quarterback, Josh Hoover, goes 13 of 16 for 351 yards and 5 touchdowns. Schobel goes 3 of 9 for 44 yards. Not a great debut. I don't know how often he's going to get to touch the field this season. And then running the ball, it looks like Payne got 74 yards on 12 carries and a score, and Barnes got 92 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Receiving, Eric McAllister, 4 for 132 and 2 scores. Jeremy Payne got a touchdown, and it looks like Joseph Manjack got a touchdown as well. But I think this is going to be as good of a place as any to wrap up the first episode of this Dynasty. And the next one, we will come back here in week 4 as we take on the SMU Mustangs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you next time.